My name is Bradley Hayes, and I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Trade Relations here at CBP. I'm joined today by Executive Assistant Commissioner Brenda Smith from the Office of Trade, and we're here to discuss the accomplishments of CBP and its trade partners as we come upon the second anniversary of the Trade Facilitation and Enforcement Act. Executive Assistant Commissioner Smith, thank you for joining me today to discuss this very important topic.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
One of the areas that TFTEA highlighted was the issue of forced labor. Can you talk a little bit about what CBP has done to address this very important issue?
Yes, forced labor is a critical issue not only for economic reasons, but it's also a human rights issue. And for CBP has had authority around the ability to exclude goods made with forced labor from the commerce of the United States for many years, since the 1930s in fact. But TFTEA really shone a spotlight on our authorities, as well as removing the consumptive demand provision from the forced labor statute. We did that. We did it officially in the early days of our administration of the new provisions. What we also then started to do was to reach out to the private sector, the civil society community that really had a lot of expertise that CBP was missing in terms of understanding what the factors were that indicated the use of forced labor, what the supply chains were that were at greatest risk. We also started to partner with colleagues around the U.S. government, at the Department of State, at the Department of Labor, at USAID, to really understand where they saw risk and what information they could bring to the table. And then we had to figure out how we were going to administer the program, a forced labor program that would proactively identify transactions or shipments that may be made using forced labor, and then to take effective action. So we have been working through that process. We've just recently stood up a new forced labor division that was formed to basically build strong investigative cases that would show, in fact, that forced labor was being used in a particular supply chain, and then allow CBP to detain and then either exclude or seize shipments that were subject or were made with forced labor. So we are feeling pretty good about that now. We did some testing of our approach during our implementation of the North Korean Sanctions Act, which was passed in early August. In fact, we have seized or excluded over 15 shipments of seafood that was associated with North Korean labor. So pretty exciting times. I would say stay tuned on that, but we think we have built a very good foundation.
Thank you, EAC Smith. I think that highlights not only the amount of work we have left to do under TFTEA, but the significant accomplishments CBP has been able to undertake since the law's enactment 2 years ago. And I'm certain that under your leadership at the Office of Trade and under other CBP senior leadership, we'll be able to fulfill our obligations under TFTEA. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.